Good afternoon, friends. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Vinel from RenewSys, and we will be briefly introducing all of the attendees at this webinar to RenewSys, followed by some key things to remember while handling, operating, and maintaining RenewSys modules. Please feel free to send us your queries on the Q&A link. You can just give us your name and whatever query you have, and we'll try and address it at the earliest possible or in the Q&A section. We're very happy to share some wonderful news with you. RenewSys has launched its large format PV modules from our facility at Patal Ganga. I think most of you must be aware that RenewSys has been setting up this facility for about a year now. It's completely live and operational. We're definitely taking bookings for these large format modules. They range from about 430 watt peak to about 590 watt peak, and they are available in configurations of 120, 144, and 156 cells. So without much ado, I think we'll begin the actual presentation. I will now hand over to my colleague Hani, who heads retail for the Western region. Hanif, hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Vinal, and thank you. Welcome to all for this exclusive webinar. It is related to end customers and EPC and integrators. Well, basically, it is great to meet you all virtually. Now, let me start with introducing RenewSys dealers and distributors for Western region. Ornet Solar, one of our pan-India distributors, having 18 warehouses, sales force of 40, but head office in Delhi. Vashi, then again a pan-India distributor, warehouses 19, with a sales force of 17. We also have Celestial in Pune, Solar for All in Nagpur, AVI in Ahmedabad, and Flame Solar in Surat. So please feel free to get in touch with any of our dealers and they will assist you. Now, I would like to introduce our sales head, Mr. Anil Srinivas. Hello, Anil, and welcome to the webinar, please.
Yeah, hi, thanks, Anil. Someone will move the slide. Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone. I am Anil Srinivas, and I am in charge of the sales function for RenewSys for both the plants in Hyderabad as well as the new Patal Ganga plant, from where we are offering our large format modules. So if you see the slide, the photo that you see is of RenewSys Hyderabad plant entrance gate. And I don't know, maybe, you know, like if some of you or many of you have seen our Hyderabad plant. So yeah, so basically, so we are part of the NP group, and we are having manufacturing capacity of PV modules of around 1.75 gigawatt. Also, we are the only, or we are one of the only backward integrated module manufacturer, wherein we are also manufacturers of the key components, which include the encapsulant. In encapsulant, we have EVA and POE, and as well as the backsheet, as well as solar cells. So the solar cells and modules, we are making solar cell and module we are making in Hyderabad, and also in Patal Ganga, where we are making only the large format modules. EVA and backsheet we are making at our plant in Bengaluru. So I can move to the next slide. So this tells about our global footprint. So we are spread across the world, as you can see, in each and every continent except Australia. The manufacturing, so we have the offices which is marked by the green. So you see we are in Mauritius, we are in South Africa, Nigeria, in Dubai, Singapore, as well as in India. So in India, we have the manufacturing facilities. So manufacturing is only based out of India, which I told you a bit back, that we are having a facility in Hyderabad, and in Patalganga and in Bangalore. So 750 megawatt of PV modules and 130 megawatt of PV cells, if you can look on your left hand side. So there, I think in Hyderabad, we are having this capacity. So this capacity is basically we are giving the large, the old format modules, wherein we are giving the, the 72 cell poly with the M2 cell and, the 72 cell mono with the G1 cell. And we also have plan of expanding our capacity in Hyderabad, wherein we plan to get a large format line there of around 600 megawatt, which is planned for the year end. So basically this facility is in SEZ, and that is why, we want to first come out of SEZ and then go with the expansion plan at Hyderabad. Below that you find Bengaluru, wherein we are having the encapsulant 3 gigawatt of encapsulant and 4 gigawatt of backsheet. So here I think I would like to tell you that we are one of the largest manufacturers of the key components of of what goes into a PV module. And when we talk about encapsulant and backsheet, since we are all in the PV module business, so we know how critical these components are, and to give the module its longevity, which when we talk about 25 years, 30 years and all. So these two components are one of the critical, let's say critical parts of a module, okay, which gives it the 25-year longevity. Coming down, then this is the latest our Patalganga factory, which is in Maharashtra. I think it's in Navi Mumbai. And from where we have started our dispatches, our billing. Yesterday was our flag off day. I think Vinel started with that slide wherein you could see that the vehicles were flagged off. So now we are ready and to cater to the market with our latest offering of large format modules. Yeah, you can move. Next. So well, of course, so basically our module is called Deserve. So Deserve is the brand name for the module. So of course, these are the salient features of our modules: high performance, high voltage, high output. Yeah, you can move the slide. So this is our large format champion product of, so basically our Deserve S Galactic and Deserve Extreme. So these are our, modules which we are offering from our Patalganga plant, wherein, so we have three formats, 120, 120X, 144X and 156X. So basically 120X would be a 60X module with cell cut into half. Similarly for 144 would be 72 cell module with a cell cut in half. So the reason is that, so these modules, now that everyone is talking about half cut, half cut, half cut. But now what we see is that there are certain challenges with the half cut modules, in the sense that, of course, you get more power, high current, high voltage, but there might be some issues with which is related to handling of these modules. Though the large format modules might be the ideal choice for the utility scale market, but it might not be the same for a smaller rooftop or a pumping application. So that is why our idea of was to come up also with a 120X module. Okay, so basically this 120X module would be similar to the dimension of a normal 72 cell module that you are using or that you used to use, okay, some time back. So this would be the ideal module for the rooftops. And of course, so yeah, half cut mono multi-bus bar cells and PID resistance through cell and module material control. So our components are PID free, like EVA. And of course, so lower LCOE, reduced BOS costs because of the module power, because we are giving a high power module. So that would translate into BOS saving, wherein, the amount of structure, cabling and everything will come down. So well, this small slide states about our product. So basically our whatever I was talking about with respect to the EV and backsheet. So wherein, so basically like Deserve is our brand of module. Similarly, we have Conserve, which is for the encapsulant, and Preserve, which is for the backsheet. So if you see below, you find that, that we have different attributes of the different products. So we have a UV transparent encapsulant, and we have a PID resistant encapsulant. Similarly, in the backsheet, we have Tetler backsheet, we have a PVDF backsheet, we have metallic backsheet and PET based backsheets. So basically these backsheets are for, let's say that if you are going for a floating solar, then, you would require a different set of BOM for the module, because since the modules will be on top of floats, and there can be some risk of water touching the backsheet. So that is why there are certain specialist products which are used for the specialist applications. So we cover all the gamut of these products and the different types of backsheet as well as the EV. Yeah, you can move the slide. So this is the champion product Conserve U Plus, which even I am I'm also new to this. So let us go through it. So breakthrough encapsulant, which is in the EV and POE series. So basically reduces curing time by 2 to 3 minutes. So I think this would also this is a champion product, because nowadays everyone is talking about how to get the right throughput and the right or maximize their let's say the benefit out of the module line. So this product reduces the curing time by 2 to 3 minutes. So that means a module line can give more modules, okay, because by reducing the process time. So that's what it says, around 15 to 20%. So let's say if you have a 100 megawatt line, if you use our product, you can have a capacity of 120 to 115 megawatt. Also, this is suitable for all the technologies. Everyone is hearing about new technologies coming. Thanks to the Chinese, we hear about TOPCon, we hear about HJT. So all these, so our product is suitable for all these technologies of cells. So touching upon bankability, now I think everyone knows what is bankability. So I will not go into explaining what is bankability. So, but our modules are having these various attributes which make it well suited for different government and private projects. Now that ALMM is the hot word these days. Everyone is scared ALMM modules. So yes, our entire product range is ALMM empaneled or in the process of empaneled. Sorry, in the process of empanelment. With regard to certifications, yes, all the modules are BIS certified, and if not, are in the process of getting certified. Insurance, yes, we are one of the module manufacturers who were granted the cover by Munich Re. Munich Re, I think everyone knows. Right now, we are under, we have to renew this policy, because this policy was given to us for our Hyderabad plant, and we will be extending this policy for the module deliveries from our Patalganga plant as well, and that would be applicable for the larger projects. Bankability wise, we are already, and we have got the bankability report by DNVGL. DNVGL, as you all know, is a reputed international agencies which does the audit of the plant and gives the certificate and the bankability report. The other thing is about the IEC ×3. So this is also called thresher test. So RenewSys has the distinction of being one of the, I think one or maybe unique company having state-of-the-art reliability lab. We are having around 7 to 8 environmental chambers. where we can do all the accelerated testing to ensure that the modules are lasting for 25 years. Credit rating, we have I think among this point is something which also makes RenewSys unique, in the sense that we are the only company in the module manufacturing space who have the A-, A2+ rating. Okay, so this means that we are a very solid funded company and we are very less leveraged. Some of the installations that, so this is one of the 56 megawatt, you see this project on the left hand side. This project is in Barmer, Rajasthan, which we have executed for LNB Renewables, wherein the modules have been provided by RenewSys. This is a SECI project. On the right hand side, it's a 45 megawatt project wherein the modules have been supplied to Renew Power. These installations are doing really good and generating very good, power. Yeah. So yeah, with this, I think, yes, you see our floating solar plant. This is at an international location in Cape Town. As I said, RenewSys, we have international offices. So we have office in South Africa, in Johannesburg, as well as in Durban. And this plant is in Cape Town. And now with this, I would hand it to my colleague, Mr. Arjun, who would go over the nitty-gritties of module handling and operation and maintenance. Thank you. Arjun?
Yes, thanks, Anil. Today we'll go through handling of modules, handling, operations and maintenance of modules briefly. Sorry, can you change the slide? Sorry. Yes, sorry for that. Yes. Once the modules are received at your site, while unloading the module, we prefer to unload modules with the forklift. And the forklift, the gap between the legs should be 92 centimeters and the length of the fork should be 105 centimeters. And we prefer to unload, if forklifts are not available, then we should unload with Hydra. And the Hydra, always the packing box should be handled with the sling or with the rope. We should not unload modules unpacked in the truck. The complete box with pallet should be unloaded from the truck, and we should unopen or unpack at the ground surface, not in the truck. And always ensure that the forklift length should be covering 3/4 of the pallet length, so that the pallet will not be toppled. And if you're unloading with Hydra, then please ensure that the slings are evenly balanced on the pallet, so that there will be no difference in the center of gravity. And always ensure that the stack, we should not unload this 2 boxes at a time. We should unload the top one first, and then we should unload the bottom next. And always when you place on the ground, we should place only the 2 stacking, one above the other. Unpacking, once your boxes are unloaded from the truck, the unpacking of the module should be always done in vertical manner by 2 persons. And the care should be taken that modules may topple or may fall. Always remove the pet strap, cut the pet strap with the scissors or the knife, and remove the top lid. And after that, you need to cut the inner strap and unpack the modules. And It is always suggested to move the pile to the supporting pole or some supporting structure, and then remove the modules from the packing box. And the storage, if you're storing temporarily, ensure that the glass is facing downside on the flat surface of the pallet, and always on above the pallet you need to keep a paperboard which is of minimum 3 play, which will come around 3 to 4 mm, so that the glass will not get scratched or damaged. If you are storing for long time, it is always recommended to store the whole pallet or the whole packing box inside a shelter, or you should cover with a tarpaulin in order to avoid from wind or rain. Once the modules are unloaded, unpacked and stored. Modules, when you're storing for long time, it should be stored in the packed conditions. We should not unpack the modules if you're planning to store for long duration. If you're going to use modules in short term, then we should unpack the modules and keep horizontally on the pallet or vertically based on the site conditions. And always put the right and always unpack before unpacking the modules and placing on the pallet. Please read us our instruction manual or handling manual, and always don't store more than 2 pallets one above the other. And coming to installation, modules should be fixed on the frame with at least 4 mounting holes. In the module, you will have 8 mounting holes. In that, minimum 4 should be used. 2 mounting holes are not recommended. You should use minimum 4 mounting holes. And the hardware, what you should use for the mounting holes, you need to refer for installation manual. But by default, you can use M6 bolt with M6 washer. The combination should be bolt, washer, again washer and nut. And you can use spring washer for checking the tightness of the nut. And you should also appropriately design the mounting structure. And we prefer, for a decent project, you need to go for a STAT report before finalizing the structure and the orientation of the modules. And modules should not be installed under shaded condition, especially under buildings, under trees. It may create hotspot over a period of time. And the clearance should be 7 mm or more between the modules. It is required for modules may expand. There will be some thermal expansion of the frames. And we also recommend by default the modules what we supply, it is having some plastic film on the aluminum surface, aluminum frame. We recommend to remove that aluminum plastic film. We recommend to remove plastic film before installation of the modules. Otherwise, for a period of time, the plastic will attract some dust, and the channel will look dirty. In some of the installations, what we saw, cables, MC4 connectors or MC4 compatible connectors should not be left on the roof. The water may sweep in if we keep for longer duration. This cable should be tied to the frame. Of course, you can use the leftover mounting holes to tie these cables. And always the cable should be bonded with 2D radius. If suppose the cable you are using 4 square mm, then the radius should be 8 mm. And always model should be handled by 2 persons. And some pictures from the sides, just for reference. We should not keep module overlapping one above the other. It may create scratches and it may damage our glass. And we should not keep any heavy objects on the surface of the module, especially on the glass. Like the person cleaning with water, he kept the bucket of water on the glass, and the person sitting on module. It's not recommended. That's for brief on handling of modules. First, just to brief, yes, once we get the truck in our site, we need to unload the modules pallet by pallet. 2 modules should not be unloaded. And once we unload the modules, we need to check. We need to cut the strap film. Once the outer strap film is removed, then we need to remove the cap. Then the inner strap film should be cut and module should be unloaded. And if you're storing for longer duration, then it is recommended not to unpack the modules. If you're storing for shorter duration, then you can unload the modules. You can place vertically or horizontally on the pallet based on the site conditions. And while cleaning, while handling the modules, installation modules, you need to also see whether the structure is properly designed and where you're installing the modules, it should be shadow-free area. And there should not be any trees or any building which is creating shadow on the modules. That's the brief. Then we are going for earthing. I think everyone knows that why we need to connect our modules to earthing. Our modules should be and there will be 2 earthing holes for the module, for each module. You should loop all the earthing holes of the modules in order to create the conductive path. Basically, what is earthing? To connect the metal conductive parts of an electrical installation is called earthing. So that the potential of metal conductive, that is frame. In our case, in a module case, it is frame. The frame there should not be any potential difference between frame and the ground. And if you measure the potential difference, the resistance between ground and the frame, it should be below 1 ohm. That is an ideal installation. And of course, they should follow the grounding rules as per the state regulations or central regulation as per electric IECs. Why we require earthing? To avoid uneven potential across the installation and to avoid fault current path, to avoid lightning protector, to avoid from PID. If the earthing is not done properly, maybe the module may affected with PID. And always the design earthing design should be considered that resistance, that is the resistance between the module frame and the ground should be less than 1 ohm. And you can use GI or maintenance fee earth electrodes for connecting earthing. And next, what is PID? I think everyone knows this. Yes. PID is potential induced degradation. It is a performance degradation in the module. That means over a period of time, the module power will degrade. Now, why module power will degrade? Because the positive charge is built on anti-reflective surface of cell as well as glass. Once it gets accumulated over a period of time, or basically when there is a potential difference between ground and the frame, then there will be a temporary short circuit in the cell, which is affected. Because of this, there will be an PID effect in the module. Now, how to avoid this PID effect in the module? There should be proper grounding first, no doubt in that. And we see this effect mostly in ungrounded PV systems. And if grounding is done properly, then why the PID affects the module is because of low quality raw materials such as EVA, backsheet, solar cells. These are the main components which will be the part of PID acceleration in the module. And the other factors which will affect the PID is temperature and humidity. If our backsheet, our EVA or cells are weak, and the temperatures are high and humidity is high, it further accelerate the PID in our modules. So we need to choose a better EVA, backsheet and solar cells. And it is very important that the module should be made with PID resistant material. Basically, it is EVA and solar cells. It should be PID resistant. And lightning protection. Why lightning protection is required? Because the module contains a bypass diode. Some people call it as blocking diode. Basically, it is a bypass diode, and it's a diode function in the module is to bypass strings, not to bypass strings within the module, not from the external. So diodes by default it is in open circuit condition. When there is some shading or something happened in the module, then it will short circuit and it will bypass the strings within the module. So that is the purpose of a diode. If there is no proper installation of lightning protection at the site, it may affect the diodes, it may affect the junction box. So lightning, it should be a good conductor, and we prefer to go with a copper conductor for lightning. And lightning arrestor consists of three main components. It is air terminal, conductor, and ground termination. And lightning depends on the site condition. Like if you're going for an coastal area where the lightning is more, there the lightning design will be different. When you come for an desert area, the lightning will be different. There is no hard and fast rule for lightning. It depends on the local conditions where you are installing the site. And coming to cleaning instructions, and it is recommended to check the module before cleaning. If you see any cable damage, any glass damage, any loose conductors like MC4 connectors before cleaning, it is recommended to fix that issue first and then start cleaning. And it is also recommended to use proper PPE while cleaning. At least the safety gloves should be used and the helmet. And the water, you should use RO water. It's an ideal option. If RO is not available, rainwater or tap water can be used. The tap water should be having low mineral content. The total hardness should be less than 75 milligram per liter. That's the recommendation. If we use harder water, the scaling may form on glass, and that scaling may degrade our ARC coating on the glass. And cleaning time, it is recommended to clean during low light condition, and we advise to clean modules after sunset in the evening. And it is also recommended that modules should not be cleaned during daytime. You may get some shock or some static if you clean during the daytime when it is generating its energy at the peak. And the water pressure should not exceed 35 psi pascals at the nozzle. So if the pressure exceeds, it may damage our glass. And water temperature used for cleaning should be same as module temperature, ideally. Or it can be a maximum difference of 20 degrees is allowed. If the temperature of water is high or the module is high, whatever it is, it may damage a module because of thermal stress or thermal shock. The glass may get broken. And if you notice some marks on glass or backsheet, we recommend to use soft sponge or microfiber cloth or non-conductive, non-abrasive brush. And it is generally recommended that you need to soak the dirt mark for some duration. After that, you need to wipe out with the cloth or the sponge. And backsheet of the module is generally not recommended to clean. If you feel there's some dust accumulated on the backsheet, you should clean with a soft cloth. No sharp objects are allowed to clean on the backside. If you use sharp objects to clean the backside, it is basically polymer. Backsheet is made with polymer. It may damage our surface or it may slip, and it may eventually will be a big failure for the modules in terms of high voltages. General information and safety. Then overall, do not leave the modules unsupported or unsecured prior to installation. The wind may cause the modules may fly over and break. Avoid applying excess stress on bending or twisting the modules. If you find any damaged module or received, then you are requested to raise a complaint with your respective sales manager, and the sales manager will check and will apply for a insurance purpose on the same day of the receipt. A glass broken or the backsheet turned cannot be repaired at the site or even in the factory. So, and it may cause some electrical shock. So better not to try for replacing the glass or replacing the backsheet at the site. It may potential hazard, electrical hazard. Broken modules or damaged modules must be handled carefully and disposed properly. Broken glass can be sharp and cause injury if you're not handled with appropriate PPEs, that is gloves. Yes. And do not drill holes in the frame or the glass of the modules at the site. If you need to order the structure according to our installation manual and according to our pitch. If you find our pitch is different and in the site and at the site the structure pitch is different, then you need to get back to us and ask our opinion or suggestion how to go forward. It is not recommended to drill any holes at the site. Do not take the backsheet or front surface of the module with paint or whatever. We should not use any artificial or concentrated or any other lights on the module. It may damage. Do not try to change the bypass diodes or do rewiring, all that. The modules, what we send should be intact. There should not be any tampering at the site. Do not disconnect module under load. Because the modules are connected to the string, then you should not disconnect the module from the string during the sunny day. During the day, if you want to disconnect the module during the day, then you need to switch off DCDB. You need to switch or remove the fuses if you're having fuses, or if you're having MCB, you need to switch off MCB. You need to disconnect the load first and then disconnect the MC4 connectors. And while carrying the module should be carried with 2 persons and with proper PPAs. We cover this. Thank you. I think I'm done with Vinay.
Thanks a lot, Arjun. Thanks for taking us through this. We will now throw the session open for question and answers. I think we've already started receiving a good number of questions, so I would encourage all the participants, if you have a query, please type it in and we'll address it at the earliest possible. So Arjun, we have a question from Riya here. Which chemical can be used in the water to help with cleaning of solar panels?
It is recommended not to use any chemicals. It is only we advise to clean modules with fresh water or the water which are having less hardness. If you feel that still the stains are not going, then we recommend to use some shampoo or soap to clean the surface. But the soap or shampoo should not use continuously. It is only to remove the stains. Yes.
Okay, thanks. And just to add on that, what about cleaning with the help of a robot? Dry cleaning?
Yes, yes. Robo dry cleaning is they can use, but we need to check whether that robo is certified or not. Not with our module, but generally the robo gets tested in their labs outside. How much payload it is applying on the module, and if they can share the data with us, we can further take it up.
Okay, great. Thanks. And I think the last question that she had again was related to preferred time for cleaning modules.
Yes, we prefer to clean modules after the sunset. After the sunset, when the light is low.
Okay, thanks. We had a question from Prasad from Aaron Energy about claiming warranty on defective modules. Can you quickly walk us through the process?
Okay. Once you find any defect or manufacturing defect or any power degradation issue at the site, then with the relevant data, you need to approach our sales representative who is representing that area. And once the representative raise the customer complaint to our factory, then we will analyze what BOM material has gone in and what is the implications of that, and we'll study internally. And once we study internally, we'll get back to the customer with our recommendations. If and we will visit a site if required. And if it is proven that yes, it's a genuine case and there's a degradation or there is defect, workmanship defect, then we will replace the module.
Okay.
I think one of the things, sorry to interrupt here. I think one of the things is, first thing is that it has to be categorized into two things. Maybe, you know, like, is it a transit related damage or a damage which has happened at the site? If it is a transit related damage, then, you know, this has to be endorsed on the LR document, and the same has to be shared with the sales account manager. So that was just to add on.
Anil. We have a general question from Praveen from Solar for All about the significance of cut cell technology and its future in the distributed sort of installations, residential, commercial. Would either of you all like to make a comment?
Well, my comment would be very general comment. Is a module is a power generating equipment, and so half cut or a full cell, at the end it is the power which matters, right? So I think that says about it. It's as per the application, what power you require.
Okay. We have a question from Anand. Arjun, would you like to add to that?
No, I agree with Anil. Yes, it's basically a power generating unit. How much power you require, based on that you need to select modules. But yes, there'll be this large format modules. There'll be some difficulties while installing on the rooftops. Basically carrying modules onto the roof, it will be a bit difficult compared to M6 modules. It is 72X modules, full cell modules.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Arjun. We have a question from Manoj on the addition of N-type products. So would either of you like to take that?
See, N-type is bit new in this cell technology now. Market is catching up for N-type. Basically, when we differentiate N-type and P-type, N-type is having better temperature coefficients compared to P-type. But at this point of time, availability of N-type itself is restricted. It's like limited access now. But eventually, maybe down the line, there will be big manufacturers may move to N-type. As of now, P-type is dominating.
Okay. Okay. Another question from Manoj is regarding the 530 watt peak modules. When can we expect them to be added to the ALMM list?
See, we already applied ALMM list. We are waiting only for factory audit. All the documentation part is completed.
Okay.
And we're expecting some factory audit by first week of next month.
Okay, great. We have a question from Anand from Ample Energy on dust-proof panels. Are there dust-proof panels that we can offer?
Precisely, I don't know what is meant by dust proof. We know there is some coating on the glass, like anti-reflected coating, ARC glass, what we call for a normal module. There is one more coating which they apply on the glass for dust. Basically, it will not accumulate more dust on the glass. But that is a part of ARC coating, but it is not proven in the market as of now. It's still in an R&D stage.
Okay.
If dust-proof models belongs to that, I'm not sure. Sorry, Glenn.
Thanks, Arjun. We have another question here. How do you see BCD impacting the Indian solar business? So I think we are looking at discussing BCD now from one of our participants.
Anil, can you take over?
So Anil, I'm here, Pai. So I will just take that question. So.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think BCD is a good way forward because it just ensures that the local manufacturing ecosystem is set up. Because if we look at the country's vision, we are talking about doing another 300 gigawatts of solar capacities on the ground by 2030. If I look at the current numbers, we are at about 50 gigawatts, so we have to do another 250 gigawatts in the next like 8 years. So it's a big ask. I mean, if I just simply divide 250, by 8, that works out to be close to 30 gigawatts. And 30 gigawatt is the installation. That means the manufacturing capacity should be doubled because normally we have seen the CUFs of these plants are in the range of 50%. So with that, you'll be having a kind of a 60 gigawatt kind of a manufacturing base in the country as compared to 18 gigawatt what we have right now. Now, for so much of investments coming in, people or investors will be looking at some amount of security from the point of view is that how India is serious about making these things happen so that money can be put into the system. So I think BCD helps from that point of view. It just helps in ensuring a great amount of manufacturing capacities coming from India. Then the question is going to be why you want to manufacture in India. I mean, the basic answer to it is energy security, because India, as you're aware, is not a fossil fuel rich country. There's a lot of import dependence, and for any country's growth, energy is very critical. And solar, from that point of view, is comparatively available in abundant. So there is nothing called a fuel supply cost, which is always the case, whether it's coal, gas, oil. And this fuel supply cost always goes up with time. Yes, sunlight is free. So from that point of view, this is an important element in the Indian economy. So security is important, and for to have that security, local manufacturing is important, and for getting local manufacturing established and investments to come in, protection is important, because of which BCD becomes critical. Yes, but having said that, BCD cannot be there forever. BCD will be a kind of protection for, like, say, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and with a basic idea that India then actually starts making scale investments, making investments in technology, by which India not only competes well in India but also globally. And I think, and that's how also China was built. For China, it just took a kind of from 2008 till now, it just took like 10, 12 years before China, could build the entire ecosystem by which they are globally competitive. So BCD is a right step forward. Yes, there will be a little bit increase in the kind of numbers, but I was also amazed to look at the recent bids which were actually announced, Gujarat bids, which I think the tariff flows were like 2 rupees 29 paise. Even with the PCD in place, if 2 rupees 29 paise is a number which has been tabled, so I think it's very affordable. So I think on a long term, if I look at it, it's a win-win for all. It's win-win for the end customers, it's a win-win for manufacturers, it is a win-win for the country, and also for important players such as the EPC players and the developers, because there's a huge market there. And I think this is the right step forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pai. If you all have any more questions, please feel free to add them in here, and we will quickly respond to them. Any tips, Arjun, in general to prevent PID related losses, apart from the selection of components that you have pointed out?
Yes, basically the components which are going into the module, that we should look at that first, and that should be EVA, especially on the front. At least it should be PID free, and the solar cells what we are using in the module. And coming to the installation side, the grounding we need to check, and it should be we need to identify whether the inverter whether using positive grounding or negative grounding. All the string inverters will come with, majority comes with negative grounding. We need to check whether it is positive grounding or negative grounding, and we need to continuously monitor the grounding value. That's and it should be less than 1 ohm. These are the key parameters to avoid PID at the site. Yes.
Thanks, Arjun. No new questions have come in. If there is anyone else who has queries, please feel free to get in touch with us. You can either get in touch with Hanif, who I think is the point of contact here for retail, or y'all are most welcome to write to us at renewsysindia.com, and we'll definitely get back to you as best possible. Thank you all for this wonderful session, for your participation. Thanks, Anil. Thanks, Arjun. Thanks, Hanif. And a big shout out to the dealers also who have joined us on this call. We look forward to doing business with you all. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you, everyone.